Welcome to today's session from the Brain Injury Association of Maryland Independent Living Skills Training. This focus of this series of videos is on transportation. So what is transportation? When we think about transportation, there's all different kinds. What we're going to focus on in these videos is either public transportation, which means taking a bus, a train, a subway, or other forms of transportation that often charge set fares, run on fixed routes, and are available to any member of the public. When we talk about paratransit services, those are services that are public transportation that are available to those with disabilities who may be unable to ride the regular public transit services. So paratransit services are to help individuals who may have difficulty riding the public bus and being able to access the same bus routes and services that any other member of the public may be able to use themselves. So there's 3 videos in this series. The videos will focus on how to get and use a bus pass, taking the bus and other public transit, and using paratransit services. If you know that you are going to try to use paratransit services, you may decide not to watch the other videos in this series. However, if you're not sure which type of public bus service is right for you, whether or not you feel comfortable on public transit or using paratransit services, you could watch all 3 videos to help yourself figure out and decide what's going to be the best for you. And today's video, this video here, is focused on how to get and use a bus pass. So like the other videos in this series, we're going to use the goal, plan, do, review strategies and worksheets in order to help us organize the task and be able to identify strategies and make a plan for what worked and didn't work. This is the simplified goal, plan, do, review sheet. This is the one that has more details to it. You can pick the sheet that works best for you. If you're able to, the more detailed version that's shown here is going to help walk you through the steps a little bit more. Also, when you see the clock pop up in the bottom left corner or on the slide, I'll show it one more time, that means it's time where you can pause and practice the strategies shown in the video. So now we're going to go into getting and using a bus pass. So on your goal, plan, do, review sheet, if you haven't already gotten them out, take a moment here to grab those sheets and write down what your goal is for getting a bus pass for yourself. What do you want to accomplish? So take a moment to pause and write that down. So it might be to get a bus pass so that you can ride the bus easily. It may be to make sure that you have the money that you need for transportation. Next, think about what are the steps that you need to take in order to get yourself a bus pass. So take a moment and brainstorm and see if you can think of what steps you might need to take to get a bus pass. The steps that we're going to review in this video are deciding what type of bus pass to use, find out how much money you need to budget for a bus pass, complete the steps to apply for a pass, and we're going to talk about different types of passes that are available in Maryland. So there's the Charm Pass or the Metro Pass, which is used in Baltimore City and in the DC metro area. So in areas of Maryland that are just outside of Washington, DC that might use that metro, you can use the similar cards for that. There's also the senior or disability bus pass process, which is centralized on being able to access that through Maryland. However, those bus passes and the steps are very similar depending on what location you might be in the state of Maryland. And then also a ticket or a regular bus pass, which again may not be exactly, examples may not be exactly where you are in Maryland because it depends on what part of the state you're in, but the steps should be really familiar similar to each area of the state that you're in. So next you need to think about what are the materials and equipment that I need in order to get a bus pass. So take a moment and pause and see if you can think of what you might need. So we'll definitely need money, right? Bus passes cost money. So we definitely need to make sure we have money available. And this relates to the budgeting video. In that video, we talk about budgeting money out for transportation, and buying a monthly bus pass is a way to help yourself budget because it makes sure that you have enough money set aside for transportation every month. And it also helps you know sort of a set amount that you'll need to spend on transportation. If you're applying for a certain type of bus pass, a senior or disability bus pass, you might need certain paperwork. And then if you're deciding to do this process online, you may also need a computer or the app on your phone. So next, you're going to predict how well you're going to do on this particular task from 1 to 10. If you're not very familiar with the bus pass process, you might give yourself a lower rating, or if you feel like you're pretty comfortable with it, you may give yourself a higher rating. And also thinking about how much you will get done. So now we're going to walk through the steps of getting a bus pass. So going back to your list of materials and equipment, if you haven't already gathered what you need, you may want to get that so that you can do the steps along with us here. So this is going to show you how to buy a Charm Pass using the app. So this is a special app available for those who are going to use the Charm Pass in the state of Maryland. And this video is going to go through those steps first.
Charm Pass is the official mobile ticketing app for the M.MTA. Now you can pay for the Baltimore Link local bus, Light Rail Link and Metro Subway Link, commuter bus, and MARC train right from your smartphone and activate your ticket in seconds. The app is free to download for Apple and Android devices, and there are no additional fees to purchase M.MTA products. If you have already downloaded the app, you are ready to get started. Go ahead and create your account for quick and easy payment. Enter your first and last name, email, your phone number, create a password, and agree to the terms and conditions. Allow the app to access your location to provide you better service. Now you're ready to buy your mobile ticket. You can buy tickets anytime and activate them when you are ready to ride. First, choose your service: Baltimore Link, commuter bus, or MARC train. Next, select your fare type. Riding with friends or family? You have the option to buy multiple tickets at once. This is where you'll add your payment method. You have the option to pay with your Google Pay, Apple Pay, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Amex, and PayPal account. Your payment method will be saved for future purchases. When you're ready to ride, you'll find all your purchased tickets within the My Tickets tab. You can then choose which ticket you'd like to use. Activate your ticket as you prepare to board. Then show the operator the animated ticket so they can verify you paid. You may be asked to tap your screen for additional verification. Should you need to use more than one ticket, tap the My Ticket tab, choose the ticket you want to activate, and select the quantity. The operator will be able to see you have multiple active tickets when you show them the animated screen. If you have any questions, click on the Accounts tab and navigate to the FAQ section to review the frequently asked questions. You can also send your questions or feedback by selecting Contact Us. Next time you want to ride with M.MTA, use Charm Pass. No cash is needed.
So there are definitely some benefits to using the Charm Pass app. As they mentioned, you don't have to keep track of a ticket, an individual ticket, or cash to be able to get on and off the bus. So that can certainly make it easier if you're not trying to dig through your wallet or put cash into the machine or anything like that. But what it does require is you do have to have a smartphone. You do have to be comfortable with using your smartphone in the community, especially to bring up your ticket to show the driver. And you have to have a credit or a debit card that you can enter in to be able to buy the ticket. So this is just one option for buying a bus ticket. It definitely can be easier to make sure you have everything taken care of before you leave your house. You can go through all the steps on the app at home and maybe with a support person. But like I said, you do have to be comfortable with using that in the community. Now, if you decide that it is something for you, I would recommend watching the video that is here again, maybe pausing after different steps as you go through the process, and then practicing pulling up the bus ticket on your app before you go out, just to make sure that you're comfortable with doing it. You may also decide to get a senior or a disability bus pass, which I will note you can actually also buy when you sign up for the Charm Pass app. If you have a senior disability pass, you can also purchase it through the app there. So the app that you saw the video for allows you to buy all particular types of passes. However, to get your senior or disability bus pass, you do have to do some steps in advance. So you can't just go and buy that particular ticket from the ticket booth before getting on the bus or the train. So you have to complete an application. There's a link in this PowerPoint. You can also search it through Google to look for your reduced fare program to pull up the form. The form is about 1 or 2 pages. It's not very long and needs to be completed by you and signed by your health provider, especially if you're applying for the disability pass. And the form is returned to 6 St. Paul Street in Baltimore. And once you're approved, you will receive a special ID card that allows you to pay a reduced fare using cash or when you're buying your tickets or passes. What I will note is that these are the steps that you would take during typical times, depending on what's happening in the city and state because of COVID. You may need to call the office ahead of time to see if there are any different steps that are taken in order to get the bus pass. They probably want to minimize in-person contact, so you may need to do more of it online or over the phone. So I would just call ahead to see what steps are different, as those might change depending on the situation. What I will note is that if you do get the MTA reduced bus pass, you need to make sure that you have the pass with you to receive the reduced fare. If you have the bus pass on your app, that should work just fine, although you might decide to keep the reduced fare pass in your wallet with you at all times anyways, just in case you need to verify or someone asks. So when you're getting your senior disability bus pass, once you're approved, you can purchase the reduced fare monthly bus pass. You can also, even if you don't use the app, you can actually also order the monthly bus pass online at the link down below, mtamaryland.gov/pass-store. The pass needs to be ordered 1 month in advance. So if you want to make sure that you have the bus pass for January, you need to make sure that you order that pass in December. So it definitely needs to be ordered ahead of time. You can also purchase a pass from the ticket booth at certain metro or light rail stops, depending on where you're getting the pass. And these are sort of separate standalone booths that are in those locations. You can purchase the senior disability monthly bus pass 3 days before the beginning of the new month or within 7 days of the new month starting. So if you're looking to buy the pass for December, you can buy the new monthly bus pass on November 28th, 29th, and 30th, or you can do it the first week of December, so December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. However, after that point, you're no longer able to buy the monthly pass. But what you can do then is buy a daily fare depending on where you're going, and that will just depend on you deciding what days that you're going to go and what days you need a pass. And then as we saw, the pass can also be purchased on the Charm app. If you do not qualify or don't want to apply for a reduced fare disability or senior pass, you can also purchase a ticket or a regular bus pass. So the Charm card, which is affiliated with the Charm Pass, the video that we saw earlier, is a plastic card that you can use to store money to ride the bus, light rail, or metro. And it works in both the Baltimore and DC areas on Maryland Public Transit. The nice thing about having the pass is that the plastic Charm card is that you can add money to your pass at any ticket vending machines, again, usually found at the metro or light rail stops, or you can add money online. So you can do that before you go somewhere to make sure that you have enough money to ride on there. So sometimes, again, that's easier than trying to handle cash when you're out and about, is to prepay your ticket. Then all you have to do is tap the card to get on the bus. If you don't use public transportation that often and you don't want to necessarily store money on a card, or you don't want to buy a monthly pass, you can also just purchase a daily ticket to ride the bus one way, or you can buy an all-day pass, which means you can get on and off as many buses as you need for the whole day, or you can buy a weekly pass if that fits in your budget a little better. These tickets can be purchased again from any ticket vending machine or ticket booths that are at certain stops. So this may again require you to do a little bit of planning in advance to make sure that you know where you can get the ticket. You can also purchase the tickets on the buses themselves, but you do need to have the exact right amount of cash because the machines aren't able to give you a lot of change. So you definitely don't want to buy a daily bus pass using a $20 bill from the ATM. So as much as possible, I generally recommend to pre-purchase your tickets, either using the Charm card or the app, or to pre-buy a bus pass, just because it can make the process of getting on and off the bus much, much easier. So if you followed along the video with us and gone through the steps to purchase a pass, you can write in sort of what problems you find and what solutions you found. Now, because getting a bus pass requires a couple of different steps and steps that are taken outside of the house, you may not have done them while you were watching this video. So I would encourage you instead, if you review this video, write down the steps that you need to complete the task, have all of your supplies ready, go and do the task, to come back to your goal, plan, do, review sheet and complete the last part of it here. So the problems, any problems that you found and any solutions, and then review, what was easy or hard for you about getting the bus pass. Did you need help using the app and navigating to figure out what you needed? Did you need help to find where you could purchase a ticket or figuring out how much money to buy? Any of those things that didn't work very well, you want to write those down. And the strategies that you did work well, like maybe you found that the using the Charm Pass app was really, really easy, and that's what you're going to plan to use to ride public transportation. Either way, you're going to rate yourself from 1 to 10 on how well it went, talk about any strategies, anything that went well, and anything that you'd like to try differently next time. And just some tips for riding the bus. We're going to review these in all of the videos to help you prepare for riding the bus. If you're nervous about traveling, make sure that you practice the steps that you need before taking the trip altogether. So if you're nervous about being able to find or use or pull up your bus pass, practice those steps at home before you actually try, or ride with someone else who can show you the steps as you're going along. Whatever method of bus pass you decide to use, make sure that it's easily accessible and ready when the bus does come to pick you up. The less fumbling that you have to do, the less stressful that it will be, and the easier it will be for you to get on and off the bus. When you're on the bus, keep all of your belongings together. If you can, try not to set them down. Sometimes if you're paying so much attention to make sure that you get off at the right spot, you can get distracted and forget and maybe not grab your bag that's on the seat next to you. So if you can, keep things in your lap or on your person. And if you have a lot of things, maybe you took the bus to go grocery shopping or pick up some items on an errand, try to have a bag or a rolling cart that's easier for you to keep a hand on and to keep it with you when you're riding the bus. So this video went through how to get a bus pass and the different options for getting that pass. Again, talk with your supports and your care providers about what option might be best for you if you're having trouble deciding. And if this seems a little bit complicated, it may be best to think about applying for paratransit services, which can make steps of the process a little bit easier.